The Flower Ornament Scripture, a translation of the Avatamsaka Sutra by Thomas Cleary. Homage to all past, future, and present Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Pacceka Buddhas, and Shravakas. Book 1. The Wonderful Adornments of the Leaders of the Worlds. Then the great enlightening being, seal of knowledge, made of jewels of inconceivable qualities, empowered by the Buddha, looked over all the oceans of beings gathered at the scene of enlightenment and said in verse, "The Buddha cultivated an ocean of blessings, many as the atoms in all lands, produced by the powers of his mind and will. The enlightenment side is pure, without any taint. Wish-fulfilling jewels are the roots of the trees, diamond are their trunks, nets of jewels cover them, and a rich fragrance surrounds. The tree branches are adorned by all kinds of gems. The limbs are of precious stones, soaring high. The branches and twigs hang thickly like heavy clouds. Underneath sits Buddha on the enlightenment side. The site of enlightenment is unthinkably vast. The trees surround it, covering all. The dense foliage and luxurious flowers mutually cover and reflect, while in the flowers grow gemstone fruits. From among all the branches emanate beautiful lights, illuminating the whole enlightenment scene. Pure, bright, inexhaustible, this appears by the power of Buddha's vows. Banks of precious stones are the flowers, reflections shining like patterned clouds. The encircling trees perfume all around. The enlightenment sights adorn everywhere. See in the sight of the Buddha's enlightenment, lotuses and jewel nets all pure. Flames of light in whirls appear from here. Music of bells and chimes comes from the clouds. All the wonderfully adorned trees, existing in all lands, appear in the enlightenment tree. Buddha, beneath it, sheds all defilement. The sight of enlightenment is made of vast blessings. The tree branches rain jewels without end. In the jewels appear enlightening beings, going everywhere to serve the Buddhas. The realm of the Buddhas is inconceivable. They cause all the trees there to produce music, in accord with the enlightened way developed by Buddha. The host of beings, hearing the music, can see it all. Then the great enlightening being, 100 eyes lotus top-knot, empowered by the Buddha, surveyed all the assemblies at the scene of enlightenment and said, "All the jewels emit wondrous sounds, extolling the names of Buddhas of all times. The deeds of those Buddhas' mystical powers can all be viewed in this enlightenment sea. Flowers bloom in profusion like parted colored cloth. Clouds of light flow in all directions. The spirits of enlightened trees bring these to the Buddha with single-minded devotion, making offerings of them. Flames of jewel light all form banners. From the banners burst forth sublime fragrances, the fragrances perfuming all the congregations. Therefore, the place is all beautifully pure. Lotuses hang down with light of golden hue, the light intoning clouds of Buddha's wondrous voice, covering all the lands in all directions, extinguishing the fires of sentient beings' torments, the independent power of enlightenment tree king constantly radiates light extremely pure. The assembled masses in the 10 directions have no bounds, yet all of them appear reflected in the enlightenment sea. The light flames of the jewel branches are like bright lamps. Their light emanates sound, declaring the great vow. What the Buddha practiced of yore in all states of being is fully expounded therein. Under the tree are spirits as many as atoms in the land, all staying together at this enlightenment site, each before the Buddha's enlightenment tree, continuously expounding the liberation doors. Buddha practiced many deeds of yore, making offerings to all the enlightened. His practices as well as his fame all appear within the jewels. Everything in the scene produces wonderful sound. The sound is vast, pervading the 10 directions. If any beings can hear the teaching, it civilizes them and makes them pure. The Buddha in the past cultivated infinite embellishments, all the adornments, innumerable kinds of every enlightenment tree. Then the great enlightening being, like spheres of golden flames, empowered by the Buddha, looked over all the assemblies at the scene of enlightenment and said, Buddha cultivated enlightening practices, comprehending all things, clarifying the true and the false. This is the Buddha's first power of knowledge. As in the past, he observed the nature of all things equally. He clarified the ocean of all doings. Thus now, in the nets of light, he can tell it all throughout all quarters. In past eons, he developed great techniques for guiding beings according to their faculties, causing all their minds to be pure. Thus was Buddha able to perfect the knowledge of potentials. As the understanding of sentient beings is not the same, and their inclinations and actions are different, he teaches them according to their needs. Buddha can do this by his powers of knowledge. Comprehending the oceans of lands in all directions, all the worlds of beings they contain, Buddha's knowledge is equanimous like space. All he can show within a pore. Buddha knows the outcome of all acts, comprehending past, present, and future instantly. The lands, ages, beings, and times of all regions, all he can reveal and make clear. Meditation states liberations and powers are boundless, and so are trances and other techniques. Buddha shows them all to beings, gladdening them, causing all to wash away the darkness of afflictions. Buddha's knowledge is unhindered, comprehending all times. All he shows in an instant, in his hair pause. The Buddha's teachings, lands, and sentient beings all disappear from his recollective power. Buddha's eye is as vast as space. He sees the entire cosmos in the unimpeded state with unequaled function. All Buddhas can tell of this eye. All sentient beings are totally bound. All their intoxications and habits, Buddha causes to be removed by his methods, appearing throughout the world. Then the great enlightening being, universal sound of the cosmos, empowered by the Buddha, looked over the assembled beings at the sight of enlightenment and said, "The Buddha's awesome spiritual powers pervade the 10 directions. Their grandeur displays making no discrimination. The transcendent means, enlightening practices, fulfilled in the past, all they show. Of old he conceived compassion for beings, and practiced transcendent generosity, wherefore his body is most sublime, gladdening all who see. In boundless eons past, he cultivated transcendent self-control, so acquired a pure body all-pervading, extinguishing the various torments of the world. He cultivated patience and tolerance, pure, faithful to truth without discrimination, so his physical form is perfect, shedding light in all directions. He strove for boundless eons past, able to overthrow the barriers of sentient beings. Therefore, he can emanate bodies in all directions, all appearing under enlightenment trees. Buddha practiced for long, long eons, oceans of meditations, all of them pure. Thus he delights his beholders, removing all taint of afflictions. Buddha mastered the ocean of practices, fulfilling transcendent wisdom. Therefore, he sheds light illumining all, destroying the darkness of ignorance. Edifying beings by various means, he causes their practice to succeed, traveling everywhere in the 10 directions. For endless eons, he never rests. Buddha practiced for boundless eons, purifying and mastering transcendent vows. Therefore, he appears throughout the world, saving beings forever and ever. Buddha cultivated extensively for countless eons transcendent power to deal with all truths. Thus he has perfected natural power, appearing throughout all lands. Buddha cultivated all-sided knowledge. The nature of his omniscience is like space. Therefore, he has unhindered power, illuminating all lands in the 10 directions. Then the great enlightening being, cloud sound pure moon, empowered by the Buddha, looked over all the beings gathered at the enlightenment site and said, "The realm of his spiritual powers is equal to space. No beings do not perceive them. The stages he perfected in his past practice are fully explained in the jewels." Striving purely for countless eons, he entered the first stage, that of extreme joy. Producing the vast knowledge of the cosmos, he saw countless Buddhas of the 10 directions. In the stage of purity, amidst all things, he observed standards of purity numerous as beings, having practiced extensively for many eons. He served the boundless ocean of Buddhas. Accumulating virtue in the stage of radiance, his store of calm was firm and enduring. The vast cloud of teachings he had already learned, so it is told in the gemstone fruits. The incomparable stage of clear intellect like an ocean of flames, comprehending situations, he gave rise to compassion with an equal physical presence in all lands. These accomplishments of the Buddha are all expounded. Universal store of equanimity, the difficult to conquer stage, according with action and stillness without contradiction. The realm of the Buddhist teaching is completely impartial. How the Buddha purified it, the jewels can tell. Far-reaching practice, the stage of oceanic wisdom, totally comprehending all aspects of the teachings, appearing in all lands like space. The voice of these teachings comes from the trees. The body of space pervading the cosmos, the lamp of wisdom shining on all beings, all practical methods completely purified. His past long journey he causes to be told. Adorned by execution of all vows, infinite oceans of lands are all pure, undisturbed by any discrimination. This peerless stage is fully explained. Mystic powers of infinite scope enter the illumining power of the teachings. This pure stage of beneficent wisdom and its aeons of practice are fully revealed. The far-reaching 10th stage of clouds of teaching engulfs everything, pervading all space. The realm of the Buddha is told in the voice. This voice is the Buddha's spiritual power. Then the great enlightening being, banner of light of benevolent courage, empowered by the Buddha, surveyed the 10 directions and said, Innumerable sentient beings are in the congregation. Their various minds of faith are all pure. All can enter into understanding of Buddhist wisdom and understand all states which adorn it. Each initiates pure vows and puts them into practice. All have made offerings to innumerable beings. They are able to see the real true body of Buddha, as well as all his mystical displays. Some can see the Buddha's reality body, incomparable, unhindered, pervading everywhere. The nature of all the infinity of things is in that body completely. Some see the Buddha's sublime body of form, its boundless physical characteristics blazing with light. According to the different understandings of various beings, it transforms into various appearances everywhere. Some see the body of unobstructed knowledge, equal in all times like space. According to the changes in beings' inclinations, it causes them to see all kinds of differences. Some can understand the Buddha's voice, pervading all lands in the 10 directions, according to sentient beings' abilities to understand. It produces verbal sounds for them without any hindrance. Some see the Buddha's various lights, variously shining throughout the world, and some see too, in the Buddha's light, Buddhas displaying their mystic powers. Some see Buddha's oceans of clouds of light issuing from his pores of radiant hues, showing the paths he practiced of yore, causing beings to deeply believe and enter Buddha's knowledge. Some see the Buddhas adorning monks and blessings, and see where the blessings come from. The oceans of transcendent means he practiced of old are clearly seen in the Buddha's marks. Buddha's qualities cannot be measured. They fill the cosmos without any bounds. These and the ranges of psychic powers these beings can expound through Buddha's power. Then the ocean of wills of a race of flower banks, by the power of the Buddha, all shook in 6 ways, in 18 manners. That is, they trembled all over, in all directions. They welled up all over, in all directions. They searched all over, in all directions. They quake all over, in all directions. They roared all over, in all directions. They crashed all over, in all directions. These various world leaders each caused clouds of inconceivable offerings to appear, raining on the ocean of beings at the sight of enlightenment. Clouds of ornaments of all fragrant flowers, clouds of decorations of all precious stones, clouds of flower nets of all jewel flames, clouds of spheres of light of jewels of boundless varieties, clouds of treasuries of pearls of all colors, clouds of all precious sandalwood scents, clouds of umbrellas made of all kinds of precious substances, clouds of diamonds with pure resonance, clouds of necklaces of jewels shining like the sun, clouds of banks of lights of all gemstones, clouds of all sorts of decorations. These clouds of adornments were infinite, inconceivably numerous. These world leaders each produced such clouds of offerings, showering upon the ocean of beings at the Buddha's sight of enlightenment, all reaching everywhere. As in this world, the world leaders joyfully produced such offerings, so did all the world leaders in all worlds of the ocean of worlds of a race of flower banks make such offerings. In each of their worlds there was a Buddha sitting on the side of enlightenment. The individual world leaders' various resolutions of faith, foresight of concentration, methods of meditation, practice of methods assisting enlightenment, accomplishments, joys, approaches, understandings of the teachings, access to the realm of Buddha's spiritual powers, access to the realms of Buddha's abilities, entryways into the Buddha's liberation were the same as in the flower bank ocean of worlds, in all the oceans of worlds, in the entire space of the whole cosmos.